Imagine this. A 13-year-old boy sits on the throne of one of the most powerful kingdoms in ancient China. Most boys at that age are playing with swords. This boy starts building his tomb. Not just any tomb, an entire underground empire that would allow him to rule for eternity. His name was Qin Shi Huang, the man who would become the first emperor of China. From the very beginning, he was obsessed with one thing above all else: never dying. He didn't just fear death, he refused to accept it. He believed that just as he ruled the living world with absolute power, he would also rule the afterlife. So while still a teenager, he ordered the construction of the largest and most mysterious tomb complex in human history. In 221 BC, something historic happened. This young king conquered the last of the 6 warring states and united China for the first time in history. He gave himself the title Qin Shi Huang, meaning first emperor. He standardized laws, weights, measures, currency, and even the width of cart axles. He began the Great Wall. But while the world saw these grand projects, very few knew about the biggest project of all, the one happening underground. Just 30 kilometers from his capital, at the foot of Mount Li, he started building a tomb so massive that it covered nearly 98 square kilometers. Over 700,000 workers, more people than many cities at that time, worked day and night for decades. This wasn't just a grave, it was an entire replica of his empire built underground. Inside this underground world, rivers of liquid mercury flowed to represent the real rivers of China. The ceiling was decorated with pearls and precious stones, arranged like the stars and constellations, creating an artificial night sky. Mechanical crossbows were installed in the corridors, ready to automatically shoot anyone who dared to enter. Thick stone walls, secret passages, and deadly traps were built to protect his eternal rest. But the most incredible part? The Terracotta Army. Over 8,000 life-size terracotta soldiers, horses, and chariots were buried in military formation, standing guard. Each warrior has unique facial features, different ages, expressions, hairstyles, and even ranks. They were painted in bright colors and carried real weapons, bronze swords and spears, so sharp and well-preserved that they can still slice through paper today, more than 2,200 years later. Why did he do all this? Qin Shi Huang was convinced that death was not the end. He believed he would continue ruling in the next world, and for that, he needed his full army, his palaces, his rivers, and his power. That's why he started planning this tomb when he was only 13 years old. But here's the tragic irony. The man who wanted to live forever ended up dying because of his own obsession with immortality. He heard legends about an elixir of life. He sent thousands of young boys and girls across the seas to find magical islands where this elixir existed. At the same time, his court doctors kept giving him pills made with mercury, believing it would grant eternal life. Instead, the mercury slowly poisoned him. It damaged his nervous system. He became extremely paranoid. He started seeing enemies everywhere. He hallucinated. He talked to people who weren't there. At the age of just 49, while on a journey searching for the elixir, Qin Shi Huang died. His death was kept secret for a long time. His weak son was put on the throne, but rebellions exploded across the empire. The mighty Qin dynasty, which he believed would last 10,000 generations, collapsed after only 15 years. His grand tomb was never finished. Many of the terracotta warriors were damaged or destroyed by rebels. Some pits were burned, weapons were stolen. Yet thousands of these silent warriors remained buried in perfect formation for over 2,000 years. In 1974, farmers digging a well accidentally discovered the first pit. What they found shocked the world, an army of clay soldiers that had been forgotten by history. Today, we have excavated only a small portion of the site. The main burial chamber, where the emperor's body actually rests, has never been opened. Why?
because modern archaeologists and the Chinese government are afraid. The tomb is filled with deadly traps, rivers of mercury that could release toxic vapors, and priceless artifacts. Opening it hastily could destroy everything forever. As one archaeologist famously said, "We are in no hurry. We would rather wait 100 years than destroy this history in one careless moment." This is the story of a man who feared death so much that he prepared for the afterlife more than his actual life. A man who united China but couldn't unite with the idea of mortality. A man whose greatest creation still stands silently underground, guarding secrets we may never fully know. So tell me, do you think Qin Shi Huang is resting peacefully in his underground empire? Or is he still waiting for his eternal rule to begin? Mind completely blown by the story of China's first emperor and the Terracotta army? Drop Qin in the comments if this story hit you hard. Smash that like button, share it with your friends who love history, and subscribe to Quick IQ Zone right now because more insane, mind-blowing history stories are coming every single week. Which part of this story shocked you the most? The mercury obsession, the massive tomb, or the silent army still waiting for 2,200 years? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. This is Quick IQ Zone, where history comes alive. See you in the next one.